Boom. I cut that a little short. I'm sorry, everybody. How's it going?
I like the music, though.
Yeah, the music's good. Music is good. That's right. Music's good. Today is a very special Intent Company Live. You guys have been waiting all day for this. You're welcome. It's about to happen. This is Billy Robbins, and it is February 22nd. We are on day 29? 29 of 75 consecutive lives. That's right. And today, since you might be asking, how do you find stuff to talk about for 29 consecutive lives? And we're still got many more to go. Usually prayer, to be honest, because it gets hard to think about what you're going to talk about. So today, very busy day. Just got back from a meeting, running up here with a couple of minutes to spare, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And wasn't very sure. And then I had this idea. Definitely the Lord put it in my spirit. And so we're going to do something. I don't know if it's ever been done before. It probably has, but I don't know. We're doing Q&A roulette. AI-driven Q&A roulette. You might be asking, what is that? Well, I'm glad you asked. What it is I have my three fine associates in this room, Chelsea, Larissa, and Giselle. We have a group chat. They are going to use AI to come up with questions. And then we'll see how much they like me or not, whether they give me easy questions, really ridiculous questions, or very difficult questions. I'll be able to gauge my relationship with them quite well at the end of this event. So that's what we're going to do. And you can help me out by getting the word out, by sharing, liking, subscribing, all that stuff, and then also leave your own comments, okay? So I'm too absorbed in the thing. I don't actually look at the comments, but our moderators who are standing by will review and send those. So if you want to ask me any question, whatever, go for it. I'm not going to say it's going to be a really great response, but I will respond to every question. And but let's get Braden in here to encourage you to share this broadcast.
Hey guys, welcome back, and make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell for notifications.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Braden. And as a quick little reminder of the things we're doing here. That's right, 75 consecutive lives. We do this Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Central Time. So join us again tomorrow as we wrap up week number 6. So 9 more to go. We're almost at the halfway mark. Also, go to intentcompany.com/live. You get access to a bunch of our stuff, like our Focus and Fire workshop that is 90% off. You got a chance to follow us on the social medias. So you can go to Intent Company, pretty much every channel, but you can also get the links directly on the site. We also have access to our customer journey assessment, which is a great tool for learning customer journey marketing. Get to join our Intent Company group, which we did launch last week, the app. So now we have the ICG app in your favorite app store, and also our WOW campaign blueprint, which is the best product, the best thing that you can be focusing on if you already have customers. So go in there if you already have customers. I actually just got back from presenting this at a cool event. Got to share a little bit about what we think of with WOW campaign, advocacy marketing, stuff like that. And you can get some of that content as well. So that is the announcements. I just want to make sure that we don't spend too much time on anything but these amazing questions. And so let me pull up my chat. Let's see what they're throwing at me here. Okay. So I'm literally not even going to pre-read these. Okay. So I'm just going to read them. This hopefully will turn out good. And if you have comments, you have questions, if you've been dying to ask me something, like Giselle, wondering, where did I get this amazing shirt? Go ahead, ask. I'll let you know. I don't remember where I got the shirt. Nordstrom's? I don't know. That was just a warm-up question to get me used to it. All right. Oh, is that your real question?
Yeah.
Who am I? I'm just a guy with a dream. That's all I am. I'm just a guy trying to, make $1 out of 15 cents. Is only Larissa the only one who got that one? Anybody? No? A little Tupac? Come on, man. Making it happen. Well, I haven't dropped any Tupac in the lives yet. You know what I mean? I got to take an opportunity. Huh? I know. You're 18 and you're holy. Like you.
20.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, you didn't grow up with Tupac. Shows that I'm old and suspect. So I guess we need to mic up. We should have mic'd up the girls. I got to repeat everything they're saying here. So I'm just going to read the chats. Should have had them mic'd up. I'm going to bring them on. They think this is hilarious watching me do this every day in here. I'm going to bring them on live, see what they think. All right. So the first legitimate question. What do you believe are the most important qualities of a successful marketer or marketing campaign? Well, that's really good. But we got marketer or marketing campaign. That's two different questions. So I'll start with marketer. If there was a quality. Question's quality. So if there was a quality about a person, and if you remember, if we did the talents, ambitions, and skills, there's a big difference between like who we are and the things we learn. I would consider a quality to be, I guess it could be both, but I'm going to talk about more of like an inherent talent. I believe the best quality or the most important quality of a successful marketer is empathy. The ability to see the world through somebody else's lens. Because if you think about it, that's the essence of customer journey marketing. And the more we can understand the intent, right? We talked a lot about that yesterday. The intent, like what is the real core like the real reason underneath why people are making their decisions, then the better job you can do at answering those and fulfilling those and serving those needs through good marketing. Marketing campaign. Best qualities of a marketing campaign is its production. So I think data is paramount, right? Like we may think something works really well, but all the nuance between like your unique value, the people that need it most, all the different things, it's really like the data that dictates that, yeah, people actually like this, they're responding to this, they're giving you your desired action. So the most important quality of a marketing campaign is the performance of the campaign. And, there's a lot that goes into making that up. All right. Ooh. Chelsea's. Look at this. All right. What's a God-sized dream that you have for your team and intent company? Wow, that's a big one. You should give me funny looks over there. Putting me on the spot. Man, what are some God-sized dreams? I have quite a few of them. And I'll say one thing about the team. One thing that I have, and this is I want to build a company that runs so well, so efficiently, has such an amazing team that everyone who works for it really feels like working here is actually like a personal growth program with a paycheck attached to it, and that they're overpaid and they have over benefits, and that it's just such a blessing to who they are as people that they're just overwhelmed by the experience. And so there's a lot that goes into it. Like we have to run the company a certain efficiency. We need to make sure we're investing in people and we're taking time that's like, one of the families. So that's like a big thing for like the team. I mean, a God-sized dream for the company. I really want to make massive impact. I want to completely disrupt marketing industry. And that's why we're focusing on advocacy marketing. I believe we can be super ethical, super moral, like no fear mongering, no like manipulation, none of this, fear of missing out nonsense. And we can just be super effective, that you can actually bless people and build relationships while developing an amazing marketing. But also I want to have multi-locations. We got some news coming up. We're about to expand a little bit right now coming up. And I believe that we'll be multi-city, multi-teams, multi-stuff, and all that stuff's happening. Next question. What ethical consideration should businesses keep in mind when designing marketing campaigns and sales tactics? Excuse me. That's an awesome one. Thank you, Larissa. I'll go off on that one. I actually just had this conversation earlier at the last meeting I was at. So what is an ethical marketing campaign? Like what makes it like ethical? I mean, obviously ethics are a little malleable depending on the person. Certain people think things are more ethical than others. But I think for me, when I look at that, I'm wondering how much are the best interests of the people that I'm marketing and selling to really, like, do I have? Is it me? I'm just trying to find a way to make $1, or am I really looking to serve people and solve problems, right? Now, obviously you need to make money. I want to make a ton of money, right? But I want to do it in a way that it's a byproduct of being a great servant. and being a great problem solver. And I really want to do that. That's a high ethical consideration that I have. So let me throw under the bus one of the biggest companies out there, because I've actually had people like, when I've shared this, be offended at me. So I forgot if I've told the story on here or not, but so Coca-Cola is like, like one of the biggest companies in the world. They're everywhere, right? And there's been books written about them. They've been used as case studies of how great an organization can be, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let me ask you this. What does Coca-Cola sell? What do they sell? Now, you first thought, be like, well, they sell soda. No. What do they sell? Like, you see their ads. You see what they do. You see the polar bears. You see the Christmas time. You see the kids skateboarding. You see the good times, the fun, the this and that. What are they selling? What are they actually presenting to the world that they throw their name on it? Things like fun and youth and family and connection and joy. So that's what they're selling. So they're saying this is what they're putting out to the world. But what do they actually sell? What's the actual thing? Well, it's caffeinated, sugary, brown, sticky bubble water. That's their literal product. So how do you get from a caffeinated, sugary beverage to Joy Family Polar Bears Christmas? Right? They decided that they're going to make a connection in your mind, and they're going to throw so much advertising at you that when you see the ad, you're going to desire Coca-Cola because you actually miss your family for Christmas time, or you want to feel like you're 16 and can do a kickflip again. To me, that is super unethical. That's like manipulation. That's a bait and switch. Because if you actually think about it, they're presenting fun, joy, youth. Their practical product that they're trying to make the association that if you drink it, you're going to feel fun, joy, youth, family. But if you drink enough Coca-Cola, you're going to get diabetes. You're not going to get closer to your family. I find that super unethical. I really do. And there's so many businesses. If you think about that in that frame and you look at the way that businesses market, if a business cannot actually market around the true product that it has, and it has to make these kind of like associations, right? McDonald's does the same. There's so many of them that do that. Why? Because they're selling crap. And if you actually really knew like what the product was and what it did to you, there's no way you'd buy it. But instead you buy it, a ton of it, because you make these emotional associations. Does it work? Of course it works. They're huge companies. Does that mean that I'm going to do it? No, because I feel like it's scandalous and it's a garbage way to market. So, I mean, you get a chance to do that in your business, right? You could sit there and try to make all these loose associations, make people feel good about what you have. Instead, like, just be a good brand. Actually deliver goods. Don't give people diabetes. Give people good things. And then tell them the good things they're going to get from working with you. All right, you got me fired up on that one. Thanks, Larissa. All right. Chelsea, what sets your agency apart from other marketing agencies in the industry? Wow, she's like trying to be like she's like setting the soft, putting the ball in the tee, all promoting us. Well, Chelsea, I'm glad you asked. Intent Company is a fantastic agency that you would love to work with. If you work with us, people will like you more. You'll drop 20 pounds. You'll definitely get more dates. Just work with Intent Company.
That literally is ironic. We just talked about the other.
I know. So, obviously that's a little fun there. What makes us different? We are an advocacy-driven company. We help brands take the current customers, turn them into raving fans, and we do that by actually helping you over-deliver and make an amazing customer experience so that people have to keep buying from you and they tell everybody they know about you. Leave a bunch of positive reviews. It's a very, very unique space in the marketing world, and that's again, I think one of the most ethical ways to market and extremely effective. So that's what makes it different. Thanks for asking, Chels. How do you stay motivated and inspired in a competitive industry? Where does motivation and inspiration come from? It is a competitive space. I mean, I love it. I think I've talked about that before. Right? When I started the company, I talked about I want to do work I love, with people I love and for people I love. So I love marketing. I love marketing is cool. It's like one of my favorite classes, in high school and the half a semester of junior college I took was sociology. And, sociology is the study of human behavior, like in mass, right? Marketing's like sociology with revenue attached to it. You get to kind of like see like what moves people, what's the motivation, how does this happen, why do people make these decisions? That's why if you get really good at marketing, you can manipulate people, because people can be manipulated, right? You can fearmonger. You can let people know you're not pretty enough, you're not likable enough, you don't have enough money, people don't like you, and they won't unless you buy my product and look like this and do that, right? In fact, a lot of people say, oh, that's all advertising is. It's not. You can be like that. You can be a scumbag marketer, or you can add value. You can serve people and solve problems. You get to choose. So I love what I do. I love the ideas. I love the ability, but I also love the people. I love entrepreneurs. Right? I think about the fight that they're in, right? No matter what stage entrepreneur you are, like you took a risk, you're doing crazy like things, you're taking big leaps, you're like hiring people, man, think about that. Every person you get to employ, like you get to impact their family and like their legacy and pour into them. Like, wow, what a great responsibility. What an amazing thing you get to do. So, entrepreneurship, like it's just, I don't know, it's just in me. So motivated, inspired. I don't know, kind of have to do it. How do you measure the success of your marketing efforts, and what metrics do you prioritize? That's a good question. So I will say, I'll give you some specifics, but I will say every marketing effort in what you're doing is going to have a different set of metrics based on what you're looking for, right? So like you hear me talk a ton about customer journey, right? Awareness, affinity, action, and advocacy, right? So like if I was doing an awareness campaign, well, I wouldn't be measuring revenue, because that's not the point of an awareness campaign. The point of an awareness campaign is to get some level of awareness. Now, when I link awareness with a drip system that then goes to an offer page and I'm selling, the sales page I'm obviously measuring, and I'm looking at all of those things connected. So obviously I want awareness that turns to revenue. But when I'm immediately looking at like, am I getting people's attention, right? Then I'm looking at things like clicks and conversion rates and, like time on site and stuff like that. Now, even with that and said, like I just said, like, yeah, each of those are going to have a different set of metrics. But ultimately, the reason I'm getting someone's attention, if I get awareness and that awareness never buys, well, then that's poor awareness, right? So you got to link them all up together. So numbers are fluid and they're connected, but that's why you want to look at your customer journey. You want to look at like, what am I doing to get new people's attention? What am I doing to get them to like me? What am I doing to get them to buy? What am I getting them to reorder, buy again and again, and so on? And I need to have dials, and those dials are literally metrics. Because if I don't have metrics at each of those points, then how do I know if it's working well or not? Right? So if I'm sending emails, am I more concerned about open rates or clicks? Am I more concerned about the clicks than this, right? So all of those things kind of pop up, and you got to pay attention to what they are. So each of those is going to be unique, right? And so, but let's look at some things. So metrics that I think everybody should be looking at are like one of the most underrated metrics is lifetime value. Like you need to know the lifetime value of your customer, and you got to see it like how can you influence the lifetime value? How can you, because lifetime value is the best metric to figure out how well you deliver the goods. Because it's one thing to get a customer, get them to buy, but when they buy again and again, when you're measuring referrals and the impact they have, that overall value that each customer has is a good indicator of how well you're doing at solving their problems. But also in analytics, like just, you pull up your analytics, you want to look at where's your traffic coming from? What does your traffic do when they come to your site? How long do they stay? What forms are they clicking on? What are they, the activity? And then you got to look at the conversion rate of all of your conversion pages. So any page that has a form, a checkout button, those things, what percentage are buying, what percentage are filling out the form. And then the reason you even have that data and those metrics is so you can optimize. So you can make it better. If I'm getting X conversion rate, how can I make it better? If I'm getting X LTV, how can I make it better? So good question. A little loaded, a little hard for me to give you the exact flow, but I think that suffices the answer. All right. All right, Giselle. Look at Giselle's questions. They're so cute. Giselle, what does it look like to start your own business and make time for your family? That is a good one. I remember when I first started my business, I was afraid. I got a business, start from home, got my home business. I still have a home business. I just have half of my house as my business now. I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm just like going to start this business and all I'm going to do is like watch Netflix all day, because I'm going to be so distracted and I'm not going to have like the willpower to like, not be distracted. It's funny. It was the exact opposite happened. It was hard for me to stop working. Like it was hard for me to turn off like when I'm working, when I'm not. And I would work like really long hours, and that would cut into my family time like a lot. So I had to learn early on, like I got to really create like a, kind of office hours. You definitely, if you're going to start a business from your home, you really got to get a space, preferably a room with a door that is just where work happens. So when you're in that room, you're working. When you're out of that room, you're not working. You got to create a divide, a separator. It's also another good, I'm not really answering the question, but I will get to it. This is just something that popped in my mind. The other thing that's really cool, a good idea about starting your day and ending your day is go and do something that like transitions like your day. So like for me in the morning, I go and, I get my quiet time with the Lord, and then I go for my walk, and then I work out. And then right after I work out, I'm like, protein shake, take a shower, and then I'm at work. So it's like that, like, working out, taking a shower, it's like a transition. It's almost like what I would do if I go to the office, right? Go to hit the gym first, get ready, go to work. And then when you end the day, do you have something like that turns off the day, right? Some kind of mechanism plan. Maybe you go for a walk, or you leave your office, you shut your door. I'm done. The work is done today. I'm leaving it in there so I can focus on my family. And then what? Go outside, go for a walk, do or something, and just kind of transition into being at home. So those were some things that I had dealt with. And that is probably the family aspect is probably one of the things that I've battled with. Not battled with it, but it's easy to overwork, right? Especially if things aren't going great, right? Maybe you're not hitting your numbers, or you're worried about something. All of a sudden, the immediate need is like, oh, I'm just going to go like work more. There's definitely a point of diminishing returns when it comes to hours. Like, I don't know, thinking you can work 11, 12 hours a day, like those last 3 or 4 hours are trash. Like you're barely getting anything done. And then you feel like trash the next day because you're a workaholic. So like you got to be careful of like overdoing it, right? When you're working, work. Don't be distracted. Don't be like half in and out. Don't be like on your phone. Like get it done. And then when you're done, be done. And then go engage. Be with your family. Make sure there's time blocked off for you to go, help kids with homework. Be at the soccer game like I was on Monday. Be present. I love a quote by Jim Rohn. It says, wherever you are, be there. That is some good advice. If you're at work, be there. You're with your family, be there. But it's often for entrepreneurs, it's hard. Like you're hanging out with your family, but you're on your phone checking your email, and you're kind of at work. And then you're at work, and then you feel in your, it's like wherever you are, be there, go for it. I don't know who needs to hear this, but your family definitely wants you more than like your business's success. So, you as a parent, like they want time with you. They want time with you. If you set standards financially and all this other stuff you got to maintain, I doubt it's your kids that are like, putting pressure on you to have a certain lifestyle. So if you feel like you got to be a workaholic to maintain that lifestyle, and it's at the sacrifice of your children, your wife, your husband, whoever you are, probably not a great choice. It'd be better to lighten your lifestyle and have a more balanced life. All right, let's see here. What emerging technologies have the potential to revolutionize the marketing sales industry in the near future? Well, obviously AI is the emerging technology right now, and it keeps evolving, keeps changing what you're using it for. There's obviously a lot of risk with all of that. You see that with a lot of some of the deep fake stuff that's going on. I guess one thing I want to say about technology. I mean, I'm a technology guy. I love tech. I got all kinds of stuff. I'm usually a little slower to adopt new technology because I want to let people kind of work through some of the curves first. But the other reason why I do it is I feel like some organizations are just too dependent on technology. And this is kind of funny because literally, like, what do? We build automated advocacy machine. We build automation systems. But the heart behind the automation is human. Like, I want people to be able to go do what they can only uniquely do. Like, I want people to be communicating. I want people to have relationships. I want people to be creative and all these different things. And we use technology to kind of like pull out the minutia and automate as much of that so you have these reliable results in these systems so people can work on the systems. And so one thing is don't rely so heavily on technology that you lose the humanity. Right? Because you're there to serve people and solve problems. And yeah, we want to automate and use tech and do the different things. But, again, I said that deep fake stuff. That's the stuff that's just like, morality wise, I don't know how well, these guys are manipulating voice and video, and it looks like certain people are saying things and talking at certain times. Obviously, that's getting manipulated in huge ways where you're watching a video of somebody saying something, you're like, oh my goodness, and it's not even real. Now, do you use that? Do you have fake pre-manufactured conversations coming across like you're having the conversation with someone? Those are some morality questions you got to ask about what you want to use. Like right now, like the way we use AI is a lot for ideation and editing. So I like in various forms. So AI, like I'm having them use AI right now, right? Because it scours, everything that we know online, this and that, to kind of summarize ideas. That's really great to come up with things to share. They're coming up with questions. And then the editing aspect's really great. Like let's say with your writing, right? You can write up something, throw it in AI and be like, rewrite this in a fun tonality or edit this in this fashion. And like, that's kind of cool because it's like you created something and you're using the tech to kind of like refine it and put a little spin on it. I love that. Our video team uses AI a lot to help with like video production and reels, right? You upload hours of video content. It's giving you ideas for cuts and different things. But so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Next question. What are some common pitfalls to avoid as a new business owner? That's good. That's a good question. I did do another broadcast called The 7 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Started My Business. That's a good one to check out. One of the things that I said on there that I really want to emphasize right now is get a team. A team is super important, even if it's in little things like, are you doing your taxes? Are you doing your bookkeeping? Are you doing this? Like the more you do that, actually I was just talking, again, it's funny. I was just talking to somebody else about this at the event. I was talking to this guy and he was talking about having some problems scaling his business. Cause he's like, oh, well, I can't, trust people or they're not going to do the right thing or they're going to this. And I had this issue this one time I hired this person and, I said to him, I go, there's certain work that you're doing that's like $1,000 an hour work, right? Like when you're closing business or the way that you maintain relationships, like that hour that you spend just has it's like $1,000 an hour work. I said, and there's certain things you're doing that are $15 an hour work. I said, if you want to grow your business, you got to get somebody else to do the $15 an hour work and you need to go do more $1,000 an hour work. And that just kind of keeps going. right? Eventually, there's going to be somebody that you hire. They're going to take on so much stuff that there's work that they do that maybe is $100 an hour work. Well, they shouldn't be doing $15 an hour work if they're doing higher level work. So what, you get another person, right? So getting a team is super important. Also going to help you from burning out. It's just good to have people around you. And you really got to learn business skills. Remember, most people start businesses because like they think they have a skill set, like, oh, I can make a website, I can roof a house, I can this. But success in business is more about your business skills. How do you hire? How do you fire? How do you get customers? How do you keep customers? How do you manage budgets and payroll and how to scale and all of these business skills that you just don't get until you do business. And so get any education you can around business skills is super helpful. Whew, these are rapid fire. All right. Next question. How do you build a strong employer brand to attract top talent and create a high-performing marketing sales team? How do you brand, employer brand? So how do you make your brand attractive? I believe that's a pretty easy one, I think, and that's missional purpose. I believe your business should have a missional purpose, and that you should be attracting people that are on that same purpose. Like one of the things with Intent Company is that we want a business that advances the kingdom of God. We want to, our purpose we put on our site is that it says, love God, love people. And I believe that's a part of what our business is here to do, is a business that glorifies Jesus, but also it serves people. And I want to help organizations do a better job of serving people, solving their problems. And we have a very missional purpose, and we want, like we do the Feed the Hungry, right? I want my business like feeding the hungry. I want my sales team goes out there. They're praying for the sick. They're loving on people. And that's like a missional purpose. I want Intent Company to advance the kingdom of God. And so what happens is we attract people that have that same kind of passion for God and passion for marketplace and coming together. And that's really how we get to attract some awesome people. Ooh, that's a lot of, gotta take some sips in between here. They're coming. I should be able to make some good reels out of this, right? They're like all these like little 1 minute sound bites. It's like, this is like a reel machine. REEL machine, not REAL. Reel machine. You guys having fun over there? I see him snickering. I hear like the click, and then I hear a snicker like, hee. So I'm waiting for them to drop something ridiculous, but so far they've been nice to me. All right, next question. How do you approach targeting and reaching a specific target audience or demographic? So I am not, well, I guess, okay. So there's demographics and there's psychographics, and both of those are important, okay? Psychographics are totally underutilized. So let's talk demographics, right? So demographic is like these are people that have quantifiable things you can measure. Like they live in a certain place, they're a certain age, certain gender. For like me going after businesses, like they make a certain amount of revenue, they have a certain amount of employees, they're in a certain industry, right? So we certainly focus on demographics. Actually, that was one of the things that helped our business the most, was when we really dialed in our demographics of who we were going after, what customer would benefit the most from what we do. But not just demographic, but then I need to add psychographic. And that would be things like, how do they think? What are they interested in, right? So for us, one of the reasons, and they're tied together. So I prefer, I will work outside of this, but my preference is to work with a founder-led business. So the person who started the company is still leading the company. Why? Because that person has the vision, the passion. There's a something in them. They created something and they want to serve a people group. They want to solve a problem. I can come alongside that type of person, and that's the type of stuff that we like to solve. So how do you target those? Well, there's lots of different ways, right? So you could have there's software. If you're coming up with lists, that you can do searches and put in demographic type information and pull up lists. Psychographic information is a little harder to measure, right? That's something more like, you gotta do the eye test, You check out people's marketing, their websites, things like that. You can do that. But the demographic information, you can kind of pull lists, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can do like demographic approaches, pull up lists of people, things like that. So, but again, build your demographic profile. But I would rather know a psychographic. If you get to work with someone who has like thinks of life a similar way and has certain passions, like I always say, like I want to work with purpose-driven brands. That might sound like a little like ooey gooey or whatever, but no, like a brand that has a specific purpose outside of just making money. Again, I know I say it over and over again, but I mean it. Like there's certain businesses that are there just to make money, and there's some that have like a people group they just have to serve or a problem they have to solve. When we focus on, I want to work with brands that are after that. So. What else we got? All right. How do you approach market research to better understand your target audience? Okay. So a couple different ways you can do market research. Well, I mean, one, like to better understand, the best way to understand is have conversations, right? Like, and again, it depends on where your business is at. If you have, let's say you have a current business where you've got, whatever, you got 100 clients, you got 1,000 clients, whatever your business is, you got whatever. Obviously, if you got, all right, depending on that set of customers, there are certain customers who are your ideal customer. And one way that you can, it's funny because I talk about like serve people, solve problems, but one of the ways you're doing it right is by the profit that you get from a customer, right? Because it means the better job you are at serving them and solving their problems, you see it in revenue because you have that match between what you provide to the world and the people who need it most, right? So if you looked at, let's say like, again, the Pareto principle, 80% of your revenue probably comes from 20% of your customers. That's the Pareto principle. So what if you did something with that 20% of your customer base? What if you did survey, right? What if you did focus groups, right? Depends on the size of your business and your commitment to this process. Focus groups are amazing, right? You probably know the 5 best customers that you have. Why don't you if you're local, take them out to lunch. Do a focus group. If you really want to go after it, like bring them to an event, have them come together, ask them, like, why do you like us? What value do you get? And you start to go through this interview process, this focus group process. You're going to find there's demographics that they match, but also you're probably going to find there's more psychographics that match, right? So, but surveys are huge. So even you can do exit surveys. So after you get, like if you had an e-commerce site and you've got, tens of thousands of customers and all this stuff happening, what you might need to do is, do like exit surveys. After someone checks out, what do you like of our experience? How can we help you? You got to engage. You got to engage with your people, and you got to figure out what makes them tick, why they like you, why they want to keep working with you. All right. What does your best week look like? What needs to happen in a given week to bring you joy, satisfaction in the work you do? Well, again, because my best week has a lot to do with things that happen outside of work, first of all. So a good week is a week that I've been able to be with my family. I've been able to enjoy life. I need to spend time with the Lord every day and work out. If I don't have that, I'm not going to have a good week at all. But in the workplace, the things that need to happen is I need to see tangible progress I need to see us moving clients forward, right? And so I get juiced when we get a chance to sign a new client, and then we're doing like the workshops and the onboarding process and seeing everybody get all fired up and making progress. I love that. Hitting milestones, hitting goals, seeing my team succeed, right? Seeing my team take on new responsibilities, find fulfillment from that. There's a lot of reasons to have joy and satisfaction in your work. There's a lot of reasons to be frustrated, but if you decide to focus on the good things that are happening, you're going to have a much better week. Yeah, I don't know if that answered that question or not, but How do you create memorable and impactful marketing campaigns? Memorable and impactful. Well, so I feel like I'm saying like the same things over and over again because I'm going to consider this question is geared towards your prospects, right? So how do you make a marketing campaign that the people that are in that marketing campaign find to be memorable? They're like, wow. And for me, it's you've got to wow them. So one of the best ways we can wow them is by serving them. One of the most common ways that you can serve them is through education, right? If you think about anytime somebody buys something, a good old pen again, right? If you think about when somebody buys something, the purchase is the end of a journey that they went on to be aware that they had a problem, investigate how they could solve that problem, the search of looking for where to acquire the problem, they're going through this whole process till they acquire it, right? That's marketing and sales to lead them to that process. And so you got to think there's a lot of things that they got to wrestle with and figure out upstairs. They got to think through and talk through and go through. So the more that you educate them, like you're the thought leader that educated them in their process. Like for us, when, some of our front end marketing is like this presentation, again, the one I just gave a couple hours ago, called How to Double Your Revenue Without Spending $1 on Advertising. Now, that's really intriguing to a lot of people. I want more revenue, and I'm really sick and tired of spending all this money on Facebook and Google and not getting the results I want. So we go through this whole process and talk and educate on advocacy marketing. And it's literally like 99% just education and a little bit at the end saying, hey, if you want to talk more about how we can help you with this, do this. So that education, that impartation, like I'm taking things that I've learned over the last 19 years as a marketer and I'm packaging it up and I'm giving it as value and I'm serving a client base with that type of experience sticks, right? And you're giving them the language and you're giving them the tactics and the things that they can do to go and run with it. And so I would say the more you can educate and serve, the more memorable it's going to be. How can a company leverage user-generated content and testimonials from brand advocates? You can use those a million different ways. Anytime you can get your brand advocates to participate, like they're basically selling and marketing for you, right? So you want to encourage that activity big time. That's one of the most important things you can do is to inspire your advocates to participate. We just got a new client and I had this idea. I forgot who I was talking to about this, but they make these amazing like fake rock wall kind of things. They're gorgeous. I'm going to get one. I'm going to have my office be super cool. They're called Universal Rocks. Amazing company. And we're just starting to work with them on some stuff. And it's just so, it's amazing. It looks like you're in a cave, right? Like every man cave needs to have a cave kind of thing. And they're impressive, super impressive. And so like when people are making these setups, they're making beautiful things, right? The people who are using these in their houses. And so I thought I haven't shared this idea with them yet, but I thought of doing like this, picture of the month contest or something. So like you're encouraging the people who have bought to send in the pictures of what they made. One, people obviously are really, they get excited about the stuff that they've made, right? Like they made this stuff. That's really cool. So they get to show it off and show their creation, their design, their room, how everything looks. And it's coming from, users. So they're the ones submitting it. So like the social proof is like through the roof because they're like, look I made it. It looks amazing. I love it. And then by doing a contest, let's say like where you give maybe somebody like, I don't know, a $500 gift card or some kind of thing. I don't know what the thing is. But it's enough of a thing to encourage all of the people who have worked with you to submit this kind of stuff and then send it out. Is it worth $500 to have like a whole army of people literally telling everyone they know to buy your stuff? Absolutely. So we got to make sure we get that idea documented. Pass out. That's a good idea. All right. How do you approach risk-taking and failure in your business ventures, and what lessons have you learned from the past experiences? That's a loaded question. Here's more snickering over there. I talked about this the other day. I don't know. I go live every day. I forget what day I talked about it. You really got to know how risk adverse you are. And, there's the old phrase, faith is spelt R-I-S-K. And I tend to deal with a fair amount of risk. I've definitely put myself in some positions before that were quite interesting. I guess the first thing you got to figure out is like, what price are you willing to pay to have the thing that you want, right? I mean, that is the essence of entrepreneurship, is that you are going out there and risking things to see a better future for your business, for your family, for the world, for the people you get to serve. And, depending on the type of business too, like you might be inventing something or trying this brand new thing and taking this massive risk, and maybe you're getting funding and you're hiring people, and all of it is like, whoa, almost feels like it's on the razor's edge of like failure and success. And I mean, I don't want to make this like too spiritual, but everything in my life is spiritual. I personally believe you got to pray. You got to hear God's voice. That to me is all faith is based off of. Because what's your faith in? Me personally, I believe in Jesus. I believe he's the God of the universe. I believe he speaks to me. I can hear his voice. And so through prayer, when I get that inspiration, it's confirmed by circumstances that I'm supposed to go there, I will be willing in this scenario to risk everything to follow what he said. And I've done it numerous times, and I feel like the Lord likes to put me in situations where it just seems like we're right on the edge of the cliff, and then boom, the most miraculous things happen. And I told a friend the other day, the next level success always comes with next level risk. And so if you want to take little risks, then there's little gain, right? Big risks, big gain. So you're going to know a little bit about where you're at. I will say that, I would like to, there's ways you can establish yourself in certain ways so that the risk is not so intense. Be smart, be financially smart, have contingencies and things like that, but still, like, your growth is typically tied to the amount of uncertainty that you're willing to deal with. So if you want lots of growth, you need to deal with lots of uncertainty. All right, we'll do two more. These are a lot. I'm going to take a nap after this. How did you pick the color and branding for Intent Company? Well, made the brand 7 years ago. I don't know. I've always kind of liked one, I designed it, and I'm not really a web designer, so that's why I like the logo is not some like super cool, amazing graphic. I went with the IC. I think it looks cool. I like it. It's like kind of bold and snappy, but text-based logos were easier for me to create because I'm not a graphic designer. I've always, I don't know. It's funny. I would design a lot of web stuff, but I don't always consider myself a web designer, but I do kind of have an eye for stuff. And I just really like the kind of the monotone kind of colors, the dark bluish black, the white, and then like just that popping blue. So I really don't know how I picked it. I just kind of came up with it, messed around with it over the time. So hope you like it. Tintcompany.com, where you'll lose 30 pounds, get a new Ferrari, and everyone will love you just for working with us. Tintcompany.com. Last question. What role does storytelling play in successful marketing and sales efforts? Everything. Facts tell, stories sell. Great book that you should read, Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. Actually, can you mark that down? I need to do a session on storytelling and like storyboarding. Nancy Duarte, another awesome resource. I'll probably rip off most of her stuff in my presentation. Spent 3 days with her at her conference like years ago. Man, it's fire. Storytelling is so, storytelling is so amazing because it resonates with everyone. People say like, oh, I'm analytical. I'm, more emotional and this and that. I don't care how analytical someone is. They love movies. Think about that. Everybody loves movies. Everyone loves a story. Everyone loves a narrative. It's part of our humanity. It's part of our human element. So the better you are at telling stories, and you think about stories, what do they have, right? They have the big idea. They have the ups. They have the downs. They have the adversity. They have the overcoming. It's the hero's journey. One important part to realize about great storytelling is you as the business owner are not the hero. Your client is the hero. Your client is the hero of their story, and you are the mentor, right? One of the most classic stories that I love is Lord of the Rings. And Fellowship of the Ring, that first story is the perfect illustration, right? Of actually, it's like kind of our humanity, right? You got the Shire. It's a comfortable place. There's no issues. Nobody wants any adventures. Don't try anything too crazy, right? Don't take any too many risks. And it's just an unsuspecting person. And then what? The mentor comes in, Gandalf, and there's a call to adventure. Let's go. I guess that's technically a Hobbit, but happened again in Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings. But it's a call to adventure. And then you go on that adventure, and what happens? You face obstacles. I can talk. You face obstacles, and then what do you got to do? You got to get tougher. You got to get new skills. You got to do new things. You got to level up to overcome those obstacles, and then you just don't stop. You keep going. Sounds a lot like life. Sounds a lot like our business. Tell great stories. Facts tell, stories sell. All right. If you want to send one more, I'll do one more. This will be the last one. What do we got here? Wow. My mother used to call me a twit. I think Chelsea's a twit right now. What story will you tell about Intent Company in 10 years? Well, sit around the couch, children. I'm going to tell you a tale about Intent Company. Oh, Giselle threw a can we eat tacos? You know what? I'll answer that one. Yes, we can eat tacos. We can definitely eat tacos. What's my favorite Mexican? Giselle, you're my favorite Mexican. Duh. Gigi's my favorite Mexican. Mi mexicana favorita? Sí. Yo hablo español muy poquito.
Sí.
Un poco de español. Yo aprendo español, pero no muy bien.
Sí.
I would like to, yes, market. I would love to do. I actually have that. That's a goal of mine. So I'll leave it at this. One of my goals is I want to be able to preach a sermon and present marketing message fluently in Spanish. And I want to go to South America. I want to go to Mexico, Latin America, South America, and I want to be able to share the things the Lord's put on my heart for business and for life and everything with the Latin American culture. I love that culture. That's a little bit about me. All right. Well, this was an interesting live. So thank you guys for joining. Get ready for all the reels that Chelsea's going to make out of this one. Chelsea and Gigi cutting reels.
That's what we do.
That's what they do. That's how they do. Hashtag LOLOLOLOL. All right. If you guys are still watching, wow, thank you. I don't know how you can stick around for this kind of stuff. I do appreciate you and your attention and what we're doing here. We will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time. We'll be sharing a word of some kind. And it's going to be great. So I appreciate you all. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. Thanks. Take care.